In this video, we are going through the process of painting the feathered mantle of this miniature peacock in watercolor. And before we even begin, I want to slow down and ask you a few questions. Why a peacock? Why this narrow, contained gesture of the hand, holding a tiny brush with a long, soft but pointed tip? Why do I care so deeply about choosing exactly the right green and yellow hue for the smallest feathers on the bird's back? These questions matter more than they seem. Hi, I'm Darya, a lifelong artist. On this channel, I share the hidden truths of painting, the things every aspiring artist senses but often misses, behind technique, rules, and the pursuit of perfection. Because painting is not only about how you do something, it's about why you do it and where it takes you. Let's begin. I start with the central area of the peacock's mantle, the yellow-green core. This is not just a color choice, it's a relationship. The vibration you see here is created by the contrast between ultramarine blue and yellow. Neither color dominates, they awaken each other. As you paint this area, notice how little pressure to brush needs. Let your breath follow the brush. Feel how your hand takes a firmer hold of the brush while the tip gets more delicate. Let the water do part of the work. Now I move to the left wing. I use tiny half-moon curves repeated rhythmically. These marks are small, but together they create a sensation, as if the fingertips were gently touching soft fluff. Here, the contrast changes. Instead of opposing colors, we are opposing gestures. A larger, solid blue wash sits next to many short, delicate brown marks. Big versus small, continuous versus fragmented. This is how texture is born. I then proceed to the right wing, keeping the same rhythm, but not copying it mechanically. Repetition in painting is never duplication, it's variation with memory. In the middle, I add a second layer of tiny green feathers. This layer is essential. It connects the wings, both visually and emotionally. Now we deepen the form. I introduce darker blue and indigo shades on the belly and on the neck. Pay attention here. The shadows on the green back are lighter than the shadows on the blue neck. This is tonal hierarchy. If all shadows are equally dark, form collapses. But when tones are organized with intention, the illusion of volume appears naturally. And slowly, almost without forcing it, the peacock begins to emerge, not as an illustration, but as presence under my eyes. under my brush. The tip of the brush follows the curve of the frail neck. It shapes the thin blue feather crest on the head. This is one of those moments where control must soften into enjoyment of witnessing the peacock in its full beauty. I add details to the eye and the beak, and suddenly the attitude changes. The bird is no longer simply delicate, there's something fierce, something royal. A small yellow touch on the crest, and now it becomes a crown. At this point, the peacock is no longer just a bird. It is a symbol of dignity, beauty, and inner authority. At this stage, I want to draw your attention to two peacock eye feathers that are just partially visible on the back. I am not painting the tail here, and that's a deliberate choice. The tail would immediately dominate the composition and shift the focus away from the mantle and the body. Instead, these two eye feathers work as a visual hint. The eye suggests the presence of the tail without fully revealing it. Now the background. Emerald green. This choice completely transforms our perception of the subject. The peacock now settles into a natural earthly plane, a place where he belongs, where he can exist, not perform. Notice how the background doesn't compete with the subject. Its role is to support the peacock and help it stand out. This is something to remember in your own painting practice. Not every area needs detail or contrast. Some parts are intentionally simpler so the main subject can read clearly. If this way of painting resonates with you, if you enjoy slowing down, observing deeply, and understanding what's happening beneath the surface, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss future tutorials. I'd also love to hear from you. Leave a comment and tell me what part of this process surprised you the most. And as we conclude, I invite you to explore painting with awareness. Not painting to impress, not painting to prove skill, but painting as an act of attention, where every color choice, every pause, every tiny gesture becomes meaningful. Thank you for painting with me. I'll see you in the next session.